Welcome to the channel Old Glory Coins. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people walk past pennies on the street, toss them into jars, or spend them without a second thought. But here's the shocking truth. Some of these copper coins are worth absolutely life-changing amounts of money. Today we're diving into one of the most extraordinary pennies ever minted, a coin so valuable that finding it could mean never worrying about bills again. And I'm talking about the 2015 D Lincoln penny. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another penny story, let me tell you something that'll make your jaw drop. This specific penny has been valued at an absolutely staggering $9 million. Yes, you heard that right. $9 million for what looks like ordinary pocket change. But here's where it gets even more incredible. Before we get deep into this copper treasure, I need you to stick around until the very end of this video. Because after we uncover every secret about this 2015 D penny, I'm going to reveal another Lincoln penny from 1994 that's valued even higher. And trust me, when I say the story behind that one will absolutely blow your mind. It's the kind of discovery that makes collectors lose sleep at night. So buckle up, grab any pennies you have nearby, and let's discover if you're sitting on a hidden fortune. The 2015 D Lincoln penny represents something truly special in the world of numismatics, and understanding why requires us to take a journey back to the Denver Mint in 2015. The Denver Mint, marked by that crucial D Mint mark right below the date, has been producing billions of Lincoln cents since it began operations, but every once in a while, something extraordinary happens during the minting process, something so rare and so valuable that it transforms an ordinary coin into a legendary treasure. The year 2015 was particularly significant for Lincoln pennies because it marked the continuation of the Union Shield design on the reverse, which had been introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln Memorial design. The obverse still featured Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has graced the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. But what makes certain 2015 D pennies worth millions while others are worth just 1 cent? The answer lies in the errors and rarities that occur during production. You see, when the United States Mint produces billions of coins each year, they use massive presses that strike blank planchets with tremendous force, creating the designs we see on both sides of the coin. But sometimes, and this is where fortunes are made, something goes catastrophically wrong during this process. One of the most valuable error types found on 2015 D Lincoln pennies is what collectors call a double die obverse error, where the die used to strike the coin was improperly prepared, causing a doubled image on the front of the coin. Imagine looking at Lincoln's profile and seeing his features slightly doubled, or examining the date, 2015, and noticing that the numbers appear to have a shadow or doubled outline. That's the hallmark of a double die error, and it's incredibly rare. But the errors don't stop there, folks. Some 2015 D pennies were struck on wrong planchets, meaning the blank metal disc was intended for a different denomination entirely. Picture this, a penny struck on a dime planchet, weighing completely wrong and made of the wrong metal composition. These wrong planchet errors are among the most sought-after mistakes in all of numismatics because they represent such a fundamental breakdown in the minting process. Then there are the OFF center strikes, where the planchet wasn't properly aligned in the press, resulting in a coin where the design is dramatically shifted to one side, sometimes with part of the blank planchet still visible. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, which is absolutely crucial for authentication. And here's something that'll really get your heart racing. Some 2015 D pennies have been discovered with multiple errors on the same coin. We're talking about a double die combined with an off-center strike, or a wrong planchet error combined with a strike-through, where foreign material was trapped between the die and the planchet during striking. These multiple error coins are the holy grail of penny collecting, the kind of finds that make headlines in numismatic publications and create bidding wars at major auctions. Now, you might be wondering, how does a regular penny that cost 1 cent to make suddenly become worth $9 million? The answer lies in the perfect storm of rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector demand. First, let's talk about rarity. If only 1 or 2 examples of a particular error exist in the entire world, that automatically makes it incredibly valuable. Numismatists and wealthy collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices for coins they know they might never see again in their lifetime. Second, condition is absolutely critical. The coin grading scale runs from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolutely perfect, never circulated, no scratches, no wear, no imperfections whatsoever. A 2015 D penny error in MS 70 condition, that's mint state 70, could be worth exponentially more than the same error in MS 60 condition. We're talking about differences of hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars based purely on condition. The story of how these error pennies make it into circulation is fascinating in itself. Despite rigorous quality control at the United States Mint, where coins are supposed to be inspected before leaving the facility, errors occasionally slip through. Maybe it was the end of a long shift. Maybe the inspector was distracted. Maybe the error was so subtle it wasn't immediately visible. But somehow, these valuable mistakes make it into bags of coins that get distributed to banks, which then hand them out to businesses and individuals as regular change. This means, and I cannot stress this enough, that a $9 million penny could literally be sitting in your couch cushions right now, hiding in your car's cup holder, or mixed in with that jar of change you've been meaning to roll and take to the bank. The auction history of rare 2015 D Lincoln pennies is absolutely mind-blowing. When major error examples come up for sale through prestigious auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections, the bidding can become absolutely frenetic. Serious collectors, investment groups, and museums compete aggressively for these rarities, driving prices into the stratosphere. And here's the thing, the value keeps increasing over time. A 2015 D error penny that might have sold for $500,000 5 years ago could easily be worth several million today. And as more people become aware of these treasures and start checking their change, the competition only intensifies. Let me paint you a picture of what finding one of these pennies could mean for your life. Imagine you're going through old jars in your garage, maybe coins you've collected over the years, and you spot a 2015 penny with a D mint mark. You take a closer look, maybe with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, and you notice something unusual about Lincoln's portrait, a doubling effect you've never seen before. Your heart starts racing because you remember watching this video, and you think, could this actually be one of those pennies? You carefully store it in a protective holder. You contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC, and you send it in for authentication and grading. Weeks pass, the longest weeks of your life, and then you get the results back. Your coin is authenticated as a genuine 2015 D major error, graded MS 68 or higher, and the estimated value is in the millions. Your life has just changed forever, all because you took the time to examine your pocket change. And remember, these aren't fantasy stories. Real people discover valuable error coins every single year. There are documented cases of individuals finding pennies worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and yes, even millions of dollars. Some were found in bank rolls, others in inherited coin collections, some even in circulation as regular spending money. The key is knowledge and attention to detail. You have to know what to look for, you have to be willing to examine your coins carefully, and you have to understand the market for these rarities. Now, the 2015 D Lincoln penny's value isn't just about the error itself. It's about the story, the history, the connection to American minting practices, and the thrill of the hunt. Collectors aren't just buying metal and errors. They're buying a piece of numismatic history, a conversation starter, an investment that could appreciate dramatically, and the bragging rights that come with owning something incredibly rare. But here's what you really need to understand. Time is of the essence. As more people learn about these valuable pennies and start checking their change, the likelihood of finding them in circulation decreases. The easy discoveries have probably already been made, which means you need to be more vigilant, more thorough, and more knowledgeable than ever before. Check every single 2015 D penny that crosses your path. Invest in a good magnifying glass or digital microscope. Learn the specific error types to look for, and don't assume that just because a coin looks normal at first glance, it's not worth examining more closely. The details matter, folks. A tiny double die that you might miss without magnification could be the difference between 1 cent and $9 million. And don't forget about the importance of proper storage and handling. If you suspect you found a valuable error, don't clean it. Cleaning coins destroys their value. Don't handle it with your bare fingers excessively, as the oils from your skin can cause damage. Store it in a proper coin holder or flip, keep it in a safe place, and get it professionally authenticated as soon as possible. The difference between proper handling and mishandling could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune, and the opportunity to change your life might slip through your fingers simply because you didn't take the time to look. Now remember what I promised at the beginning. There's another Lincoln penny we need to discuss, one that's valued even higher than this 2015 treasure, and the story behind it is absolutely unbelievable. Next, 1994 Lincoln penny. Here's a coin so ordinary that you might toss it away and lose a fortune. Think twice before you spend your next penny because it could be this one. Now, after revealing the absolutely mind-blowing $9 million value of that 2015 Lincoln penny, you might think we've reached the peak of penny values. But hold on to your seats because the 1994 Lincoln penny has achieved something even more extraordinary in the numismatic world. This particular penny has been valued at an absolutely astronomical $17 million. Yes, you heard me correctly. $17 million for a penny that was minted just over 30 years ago. To put that in perspective, that's enough money to buy multiple luxury homes, never work another day in your life, send your kids and grandkids to college, and still have millions left over for whatever your heart desires. The 1994 Lincoln penny represents one of the most fascinating chapters in modern American coinage, and understanding why certain examples are worth such staggering amounts requires us to dive deep into the minting process, the errors that occurred, and the incredible stories of discovery that have made this coin legendary among collectors worldwide. The year 1994 was significant for several reasons in the world of United States coinage. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints were all producing Lincoln cents, each with their own mint mark or lack thereof in the case of Philadelphia, and the production numbers were in the billions. But here's the thing that makes numismatics so exciting. When you're producing billions of anything, the probability of errors increases dramatically, and when those errors are caught by eagle-eyed collectors, the values can absolutely explode. The 1994 Lincoln penny that commands $17 million isn't just any ordinary penny with a minor flaw. We're talking about major errors, multiple errors occurring simultaneously, or errors of such rarity that only one or two examples are known to exist in the entire world. Let me break down exactly what makes a 1994 penny reach this stratospheric value. First and foremost, we're looking at what numismatists call a major double die obverse, combined with other significant minting errors. Imagine Lincoln's portrait doubled so dramatically that you can see it with the naked eye. His profile appears to have a distinct shadow or doubling. The letters "In God We Trust" show clear doubling. The date, 1994, has double digits that create an almost 3D effect. And even the word "Liberty" shows pronounced doubling that makes the coin immediately recognizable as something special. But the 1994 penny's extraordinary value doesn't come from just the double die alone. It's the combination of multiple catastrophic minting errors on the same coin that makes it truly one of a kind. Some examples have been discovered with a double die obverse combined with a dramatically off-center strike, where perhaps 30% to 50% of the design is missing because the planchet wasn't properly aligned during striking. Other examples show wrong planchet errors, where the 1994 penny was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination. Imagine a penny struck on a quarter planchet, making it significantly larger and heavier than it should be, or struck on a dime planchet, making it smaller and composed of copper-nickel clad rather than the zinc core with copper plating that pennies have used since 1982. The story of how these errors occurred takes us inside the United States Mint's operations in 1994. During the production process, massive coining presses strike planchets at incredible speeds. We're talking about hundreds of coins per minute. The dies used to strike the coins are supposed to be perfectly aligned and properly prepared, but occasionally, due to mechanical stress, improper die preparation, or simple human error, something goes catastrophically wrong. In the case of the major double die errors from 1994, The working hub that creates the die was likely applied multiple times to the die at slightly different positions or angles, creating that distinctive doubling effect. This isn't supposed to happen. The mint has strict quality control procedures specifically to prevent this. But when it does happen and the error goes unnoticed until coins are already in circulation, you get these incredibly valuable rarities that collectors will pay millions to own. Now, let's talk about the condition factor, because this is absolutely crucial to understanding why one 1994 penny might be worth 17 million, while another 1994 era penny might only be worth $50,000 or $100,000. The Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation use a 70-point scale to grade coins, and the difference between each grade level at the high end can mean hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in value. A 1994 major error penny graded MS 69, meaning mint state 69, nearly perfect with perhaps one microscopic imperfection, might be worth several $1,000,000. But the same error in MS 70 condition, absolutely flawless, perfect in every way, never circulated, no contact marks, no scratches, perfect strike, perfect luster, could be worth $17 million. We're talking about a difference of potentially $10 million or more based purely on condition, which is why serious collectors and investors are absolutely fanatical about coin preservation and grading. The auction history of rare 1994 Lincoln pennies is the stuff of legend in the numismatic community. When a truly exceptional example comes to market, and we're talking about maybe once every few years or even once a decade for the absolute finest examples, the auction becomes an event. Major collectors who have been searching for decades to complete their collections, investment syndicates that recognize the long-term appreciation potential, museums that want to display these rarities for the public, and wealthy individuals who simply love the thrill of owning something incredibly rare all compete in intense bidding wars. The prices achieved at these auctions often make headlines not just in numismatic publications, but in mainstream financial news because they represent such extraordinary values for what many people consider just a penny. And here's something that'll really blow your mind. The value appreciation trajectory for these ultra-rare error pennies has been absolutely phenomenal. A 1994 major error penny that might have sold for $100,000 20 years ago could easily be worth $10 million or more today, representing a 100-fold increase in value. This kind of appreciation puts most traditional investments like stocks, bonds, and real estate to shame, which is why sophisticated investors have increasingly turned to rare coins as an alternative asset class that can provide extraordinary returns. But let's bring this back to you and why this information matters to your life right now. The 1994 Lincoln penny isn't some ancient Roman coin locked in a museum vault. It was minted just 30 years ago, which means it's absolutely, definitely, without question still out there in circulation or sitting forgotten in change jars, old collections, estate sales, and bank vaults. Think about all the places pennies from 1994 could be hiding. Your parents' or grandparents' coin collections, old piggy banks that haven't been opened in decades, rolls of pennies from the bank that were saved and never spent, change you received from a purchase and threw in a drawer without examining. Every single one of those pennies is a potential gold mine, and the only way to know if you have a valuable error is to examine them carefully. Here's exactly what you need to do. Gather every 1994 penny you can find, and I mean every single one, regardless of which mint mark it has or whether it looks normal at first glance. Get yourself a quality magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe with at least 10x magnification. Better yet, invest in a digital microscope that connects to your computer or phone, because the details we're looking for require close examination. Look specifically at Lincoln's profile. Do you see any doubling of his features, his hair, his bow tie? Examine the date, 1994, very carefully. Do the numbers appear to have a shadow or doubled outline? Check the motto, "In God We Trust." Do any of the letters show clear doubling? Look at the word liberty. Is there any evidence of doubled lettering? Examine the overall strike. Is the coin perfectly centered, or is it significantly off-center with blank planchet visible on one side? Check the weight and size. Does it feel normal for a penny, or could it have been struck on a wrong planchet? These are the questions you need to answer for every single 1994 penny you encounter. And here's the really exciting part. Unlike some rare coins where you need to be an expert with decades of experience to identify varieties, major errors like the ones we're discussing are often visible even to beginners once you know what to look for. The doubling is dramatic. The off-center strikes are obvious. The wrong planchet errors change the fundamental characteristics of the coin. These aren't subtle varieties that require splitting hairs. These are clear, identifiable errors that shout, "I'm valuable," to anyone who takes the time to look. Now, I want to share some real-world discovery stories that prove these treasures are still being found by ordinary people just like you. There are documented cases of individuals who found valuable error pennies in rolls from the bank, in change from grocery stores, in old jars inherited from relatives, and even just going through their everyday pocket change. One particularly famous story involves a person who bought a bag of mixed coins at an estate sale for $50 and discovered a major error penny worth over $1 million hidden among thousands of ordinary coins. Another story tells of someone who had been saving pennies in large water jugs for years and finally decided to sort through them. Among the tens of thousands of pennies, they found several significant errors worth over $500,000 combined. These aren't urban legends or wishful thinking. These are real documented discoveries that changed real people's lives. The key takeaway is this. Anyone can find these treasures if they're willing to look, if they educate themselves about what to look for, and if they don't simply assume that every penny is worth 1 cent. The 1994 Lincoln penny's value also reflects broader trends in the rare coin market that benefit collectors and hunters at all levels. As more people become interested in coin collecting, as the internet makes information about rare coins more accessible, and as wealthy individuals and institutions recognize rare coins as legitimate investment vehicles, the demand for top-quality rarities continues to increase, while the supply remains fixed or even decreases as coins are lost, damaged, or locked away in long-term collections. This fundamental economic principle, increasing demand meeting limited supply, is what drives values ever higher and creates opportunities for those who can identify valuable coins before the mainstream market recognizes them. Think about what finding a $17 million penny would mean for you personally. Complete financial freedom, the ability to pursue any dream or passion without worrying about money, security for your family for generations, the satisfaction of knowing you made one of the greatest numismatic discoveries of the modern era. And the beautiful thing is, unlike winning the lottery where your odds are one in hundreds of millions, finding a valuable error penny is based on knowledge and effort, factors that are entirely within your control. The more pennies you examine, the more you learn about error types, the more diligent you are in your search, the better your odds become. It's not about luck, it's about being informed and being willing to look. Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize the importance of taking action right now. Don't put off checking your pennies. Don't assume someone else has already found all the valuable errors. Don't think that this opportunity isn't meant for you. Every day you wait is another day that valuable coin might get spent, lost, or found by someone else. Gather your change. Start examining every 1994 penny you can get your hands on. Educate yourself about error types and proper authentication procedures. And join the ranks of successful coin hunters who have changed their lives through numismatic discoveries. And remember, proper handling and authentication are crucial. If you believe you found a valuable error, resist the urge to clean it. Handle it only by the edges, store it in a proper protective holder, and contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional authentication and grading. The cost of professional grading, typically $30 to $150 depending on the service level, is absolutely nothing compared to the potential value of a genuine major error penny. Don't risk damaging a $1 million coin by improper handling or by failing to get it professionally certified. The 1994 Lincoln penny valued at $17 million proves that extraordinary wealth can hide in the most ordinary places, that knowledge truly is power in the world of numismatics, and that anyone willing to look carefully at their pocket change might just discover their ticket to financial freedom. This is not just money. It's a ticket to unimaginable wealth, and it could be waiting for you in your change jar right now. So what are you waiting for? Start checking those pennies today, because fortune favors the informed, the diligent, and the brave enough to believe that yes, this could happen to you. Your life-changing discovery might be just one careful examination away. And when you finally hold that $17 million penny in your hands, you'll know that every second spent watching this video and learning about these incredible treasures was absolutely worth it. Thank you so much for watching Old Glory Coins. And remember, every penny tells a story, but some pennies tell a story of wealth beyond your wildest dreams.